Hi guys, AzureAce here, and today I am back with yet another Dragon Ball Super episode discussion. In the last episode, it was the finale of the Champa saga, as Goku and the gang used their wish for the Super Dragon Balls, and as it turns out, the nameless planet was indeed the 7th Super Dragon Ball. Whis calls upon the divine god of dragons, Rama, to grant Beerus his wish, which was to give Champa and Universe 6 their own Earth for the earthly delicatessens, with the episode ending on the gang approaching Earth in the God Cube, and we arrive at episode 42, a tumultuous victory celebration, facing off at last, Monaka versus Son Goku. I'm somewhat glad we're getting into the quote-unquote filler of Dragon Ball Super now, because, I mean, the Champa saga was pretty hectic, and we just need a little time to simmer down before we get into the now confirmed future Trunks arc. Got a video coming out later today discussing more in depth about the implications future Trunks and this Black Goku will have in the series, so be sure to watch out for that. But the filler in Super has been consistently good, so I'm pretty happy we're getting into filler, and it's just enjoyable. For once, the episode does not end where the last episode left off even, because we start at Beer's planet and he is being asked by Bulma that there's a victory celebration, you guys come on, we won, let's party. But like the title implies, Bulma suggests that Monaka should come along. Whis agrees, but Beerus does not, as Goku would more than likely look to fight him or spar with him or something like that, which obviously, as you see in the title, does happen. Beerus then goes on to explain how he could lose his job as a god of destruction if the Omni King did catch wind that he is lying, which is kind of interesting actually, because it's such a trivial thing just to lie about something like that and to lose your job as the god of the universe. It's kind of a trivial thing, but I mean, I feel like the occupation of a god of destruction is just like any other job. You would get fired for doing something wrong, you'd get praised for doing something right, things like that. But it's kind of ironic actually, because right after that he suggests that they lie and say that Monaka's busy, which is funny in itself, because it's gonna start going downhill from here. We then cut back to Earth and the party, and right away it looks like how Battle of Gods did in the movie, or near enough like it. As we know, the Battle of Gods movie took place at Capsule Corporation, and Battle of Gods anime adaptation took place on a cruise ship. And dear lord, like Chi-Chi says in this screenshot, Gohan still hasn't shown up. He is still doing something. He would presumably be in the next episode, which I'm going to get into soon, but he still hasn't appeared. It's just getting fucking ridiculous now, to be honest. But I guess we're going to see him soon. If we don't see him in the entirety of this kind of filler-ish arc, we're going to see him in the future Trunks arc. Hopefully, please, God, just bring him back. Just make him strong again. Make Gohan great again. But they reminisced about Battle of Gods and how Boo ate all the food, so Bulma has made sure that she doubles all the food so that Boo doesn't anger Beerus again, because we all know how that turned out. And yeah, this is where the episode starts to take a horrible turn for our cast, as Jackal ordered sweets for the party, and who other than Monaka to be the one to show up as the delivery boy and deliver them. Chi-Chi does fire shots at Goku by basically saying he's lazy and can't hold down a job like Monaka can, and that he's strong. Not really, as we know. But Mr. Satan then approaches Monaka, telling him that he made something for him, and it is here that we find out that the very odd detail of Monaka being bigger and having purple lips in the previews last week is actually because it's a costume of Monaka. It's being worn by the woman who is with Mr. Satan at the Cell Games. I honestly can't remember her name. I'm sorry about that. Trunks and Goten then start arguing over, I guess, a box of sweets, and then Trunks elbows Monaka and he goes flying into a table and chairs and he starts crying. And this is where I guess everyone catches onto the fact that Monaka is actually a fake and a fraud, as Krillin does ask Piccolo if he's actually the strongest in the world, or strongest in the universe even, and Piccolo just kind of writes him off. He says that he doesn't really know, but he obviously does because he overheard the conversation between Beerus and Whis during the tournament. Beerus and Whis then do arrive at the party, and then they see Monaka, and Beerus starts freaking the fuck out. He was like, "Why are you here? Stop, no, go away." And then Bulma does suggest to Beerus that Monaka is a fraud, and Beerus basically has no answer because everyone has caught wind of it, and he knows, yeah, I've fucked up now. And he does admit to everyone that Monaka is indeed a fraud. This includes Vegeta, who was also using Monaka, or Beerus hoped that Vegeta was using Monaka as a way to motivate himself. But yeah, everyone knows now except for Goku, because he has not arrived yet. But just to say that, and just as Beerus says that, Goku does appear behind Beerus with an instant transmission, and before that, Beerus tells everyone that under no circumstances does Goku ever find out that Monaka is a fraud, or he's basically gonna kill everyone. And we're gonna see later on in this episode that someone done goof over this fucking idiot, and it's kind of someone you would expect. But Chi-Chi does tell Goku to go and get changed out of his farmer's outfit, because he's in his farmer's outfit that he used quite often in the early stages of Dragon Ball Super, and the early stages of the Battle of Gods arc. And Whis starts to explain that Goku is not ready for the Omniversal Tournament, and he needs Monaka to keep him even more motivated, which I believe is an inconsistency in itself. He should really be aiming to be as strong as Beerus and Whis, not Monaka. He also explains that all the other gods of destruction are brutal, even more brutal than what Beerus and Champa are, and there's no telling what will happen to Earth as a result. So I'm not actually sure if he means that Beerus will get so angry he'll destroy Earth, or another god of destruction will get so angry that they lost and they'll come into Universe 7 and destroy Earth. Who knows with that? I mean, it's really open to interpretation, but oh well. Goku does return in his traditional gi, and I also forgot to mention that Vegeta is also in his regular combat armor, so I guess this kind of does spell the end of the Whis attires maybe. And does that mean their training with Whis is over? Again, this is another inconsistency. If he was so concerned that Goku and presumably Vegeta aren't strong enough for this Omniversal Tournament, wouldn't he be, or Beerus, be trying their utmost best to train them? I mean, is this just a bad writing issue? I feel like it's the latter, because Whis must know how important this Omniversal Tournament is if he's saying Goku isn't strong enough, and this must kind of mean Whis knows fighters from other universes and just knows how strong they are, and knows that Goku is not as strong as them, which is actually kind of interesting to know that in other universes there are people stronger than Goku. We already know Hito is stronger than Goku, so there's obviously going to be others in like Universe 2, Universe 9, Universe 3, Universe 11, places like that. It's going to be interesting to see how this Omniversal Tournament plays up, and hopefully that's going to be the conclusion of Dragon Ball Super. Beerus tells Goku that he has to do 100 trillion sit-ups before he can face Monaka, and he actually does it. He just starts doing such fast sit-ups that dust is kicking up, and it's just hilarious, man. He actually does 100 trillion sit-ups, but meanwhile everyone is trying to find a way to protect Monaka's secret, whereupon Kid Trunks suggests that Beerus wears the Monaka costume that Satan made. This is a great idea from Kid Trunks there. Goku then finishes doing the sit-ups and goes over, takes Monaka's hand and starts dragging him away. Monaka's looking terrified, he's feeling like he's gonna die. Then Goten and Trunks show Beerus the costume to get inside. While this is happening, Ten Shinhan tells Chaozu to paralyze Goku, but obviously, being as weak as Chaozu is, he doesn't hold him for very long. Then Krillin runs up and uses the Taiyoken, otherwise known as the Solar Flare, to blind Goku. This makes him let go of Monaka, so Monaka runs away with Krillin, and Beerus does decide to get into the suit after minutes of deciding, and the person we do find out who is to fight Goku in that Monaka suit is Beerus. So think of this as a mini rematch. This isn't a full rematch, for if this was a full rematch they would be going all out. Goku says that he can actually sense the ki of Beerus in the suit, and he actually thinks that Monaka has God ki. Are you dumb, Goku? Are you dumb, man? But Goku flies over to a random place hoping that Monaka or Beerus follow them, and then Beerus smacks him with a sucker punch. Goku starts kind of firing a flurry of punches at Beerus, but Beerus is dodging them so easily. They do collide fists at a part, and a part of the costume rips. This does kind of startle Beerus a lot, but Goku's too dumb to even notice, and he's too focused on the battle to even notice. Beerus is blocking all of Goku's punch with a single hand. He clocks him right in the gut and in the head, however Goku kicks him and rips the back of his costume, almost revealing Beerus' tail to Goku. Piccolo and Vegeta do then intervene before his tail pops out. Piccolo kind of outstretches his arm to grab Goku and keep him still, saying that Monaka can control people. It's a bit of a far-fetched idea, but I mean, Goku's dumb, he would believe something like that. Vegeta says that he is too, and I think he was hoping to use this opportunity as a way to fight Goku, but Beerus does stop him, and he grabs his arm and throws him into Piccolo, kind of throwing them both back. At this point, Beerus does look like he's starting to get rather angry and starts powering up with that striking purple aura of his that we know, but actually no, he's starting to enjoy himself because he actually starts kind of laughing uncontrollably, just starts laying into Goku. Whis tells us that it's probably a good way for Beerus to let off some steam, since he hasn't really fought anyone since he fought Goku in Battle of Gods. Goku then punches an ear off the suit as Beerus starts hitting Goku with some real hard shots, punching him down into the ground. They start powering up in the air again and go for that epic strong punch collision that would end the universe. However, Whis steps in between them both to stop them from destroying the earth with that collision. Whis says that Beerus will get angry, but the Beerus just this is so I love Super's comedic aspect, but the Beerus you're seeing now is in fact Poir. I legitimately started crying when I saw Poir as Beerus. It's too fucking hilarious. He looks like Ditto out of Pokemon. Oh, it's just funny. Let's see, this is the filler of Super that I love. It's just so funny. It's just, even if there's no action, although there's obviously action in this episode, it's so hilarious. It contrasts so well with all the action, even though Super has actually taken a lot more of a light-hearted approach to Dragon Ball than what the likes of, say, Z has done. And we now find out who is that idiot that blurted out Monaka's secret. It was fucking Yamcha, the useless piece of shit.
Let's be honest, if I stay, I'll probably just get in the way.
Yep, probably.
No offense.
Why are you even here? Sensubin!
Beerus starts to get real angry at Yamcha, and he would kill him by flicking him in the head with his headshot. But Goku's an idiot, so he still thinks that Beerus is Monaka, and he comes to the conclusion that Monaka can split himself up just like Boo can. And we end the episode with everyone going to eat food and Poir transforming back into, well, Poir. Well, overall judgments of this episode. The episode was super wacky, and I guess in a sense we got the Goku versus Beerus rematch, but not really. However, as good as this episode was in terms of comedy, in terms of animation, in terms of music, for the most part the writing was just very average at best. There were quite a few very notable inconsistencies in this episode. For example, like I mentioned prior, Goku should be using Beerus and Whis as a motivation, as they are, in his eyes, still worlds beyond his image of Monaka, as well as the fact that it looks like Whis has finished their training, not confirmed, looks like, despite contradicting himself and saying that Goku and Vegeta most likely, albeit not saying Vegeta outright, are not strong enough to compete in the Omniversal tournament. There's also the fact that Kid Trunks and Goten still haven't aged. You know, that's still a problem. It's been a problem throughout the entirety of Super. So overall, the episode was very good, but there just was a lot of very questionable writing decisions. But with the overall judgment out of the way, let's get into the previews with episode 43 entitled Goku's Ki is out of control, lots of trouble taking care of Pan. We get into the previews and there's really not much of kinda interest to talk about. We do see Goku use his instant transmission, however it does not show if it wrecks their house like the leak suggests. However, we do get to see that Pan has found her way into the hands of the Pilaf gang, so we will see what kind of shenanigans the Pilaf gang do have up their sleeve. I've kind of missed them, to be honest, because they add a really nice spark of comedy to Super, and we haven't really seen them since Battle of Gods, so it's nice to see them returning. Another returning character that is supposed to be making an appearance in this episode is Arale. However, she is nowhere to be seen in the previews, so it's going to be a nice surprise to see how she plays into this episode. We also get a look at another one of the Pilaf machines that we always used to see back in the olden days of the original Dragon Ball. In the final shot of interest in the previews, Pan is powering up and she isn't even a full-grown kid yet. What? Just look at this. I wonder how strong she can actually grow. I wonder if she can grow stronger than her GT counterpart. We do know that as a Saiyan, she is able to go Super Saiyan. She does have that capability if she wanted to and if the opportunity beckoned. However, I doubt it because Toriyama has said in the past he doesn't know what females would look like as Super Saiyans. However, we have seen in Dragon Ball Heroes that note the female heroine does go Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God. So it will be interesting to see if Pan can actually go Super Saiyan and Super. So I would actually like to see that. I mean, a female Super Saiyan is pretty long overdue in Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure most of us can agree with that. Although we know how annoying Pan was in GT, so we're just gonna have to see what happens and just hope for the best. But if you guys liked this video, please leave a like, comment your thoughts. Was this episode enough to sate your comedic thirst for Super? Do you think that Pan will be able to go Super Saiyan in the latter stages of Super? Share this video amongst your friends and subscribe to join the Azure Army today. Thank you.